If you enjoy these programs, please like and subscribe. This is how wrong Paul is. The easiest part of the Torah to observe is the ritual commandment. That's the part that's easy. See, Paul is fiercely antinomian. He says no one keep the law. When he says don't keep the law, you don't have to keep the law. The law has been made a curse for Galatians 3, Colossians 2, Ephesians 2. He's talking about ritual law. He's so way off. He's so not in touch. And the church, unfortunately, changed the order because they don't want you to find the solution to sin in the book of Proverbs. They want you to find the solution to sin in the book of Romans.
Brian, you're live on the air. Please tell us what your question is. I just told everybody who you were.
Yeah, this is Brian from Florida. Thank you, Rabbi, for presenting the light of the Torah to us, especially during these times. My question is, why is the order of the Old Testament and the Tanakh different? More specifically, why does the Christian Old Testament end with the prophets and the Tanakh ends with Chronicles? Is there like some theological difference here, and how do missionaries exploit this different arrangement? Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
So as it turns out, the order of the books of Tanakh in the Hebrew Bible are different than they are in a Christian Bible, in what Christians call the Old Testament. Now, it wasn't that way in the first century. It was changed. The order, the way books in the Hebrew Bible appear in today is the way it was in the first century. We know that because Luke displays the order of the Hebrew Bible in Luke chapter 24, verse 44. There, Jesus is saying that if you just look at the law, the prophets, and the Psalms, which means the writings. So let me explain all this. So the word Tanakh is not really a word, it's an acronym for the three parts, the three categories of the Hebrew Bible. The Torah, which means the law of Moses, the 5 books of Moses, which is very different than the other two in that it contains all the mitzvot, has all the mitzvot. Okay? There are no new commandments anywhere else. Second section is the prophets, the Nvim. Nvim contain two very critical features. Number one, they're extremely critical of the children of Israel. The purpose of the Nvim is to, number one, tell you what you're doing wrong and how you messed up. And the Nvim are, in a sense, skewed. It's not interested in telling you how terrific you are. It ignores any good stuff you've done. It's not biased. It's trying to make you better. So just like a person who is studying to be a dermatologist has to study so many diseases and so many skin ailments and look at so many slides. Imagine someone becoming a radiologist, how much pathology has to study. Why? So you can tell what healthy tissue looks like and what chas v'chlila disease tissue looks like. So the Nvim are, you're basically studying every way you can possibly mess up. Any way you can mess up is there. Because the Nvim are there to explain to you what you can do wrong. As an example, what you don't find in the Nvim, or very rare, is criticism that the Jews are not keeping the Sabbath. It's very rare that religious Jews are not keeping, or not eating kosher. It's almost unheard of because that's really easy. This is how wrong Paul is. The easiest part of the Torah to observe is the ritual commandment. That's the part that's easy. See, Paul is fiercely antinomian. He says no one keep the law. When he says don't keep the law, you don't have to keep the law. The law has been made a curse for Galatians 3, Colossians 2, Ephesians 2. He's talking about ritual law. He's so way off. He's so not in touch. That's the part that's very easy. I could tell you, every religious Jew will tell you, it's not hard to keep kosher. It's not eat Shabbos. It's a pleasure. The challenges are how you treat other people, how you treat God. But ritual mitzvot, in fact, all the B'nai Noach, all the righteous among the nations, all want to keep and trying to figure out how they can keep more of it. And this is what the missionaries keep in their way of deceiving. Okay, so the Nvim, or ran off topic there. So the prophetic part is going, this is how you're messing up. And the Nvim part contain, therefore, where you need to be. Okay? Because the Nvim, this part of the prophets, that's the Tanakh, so it's the Nun part, the Nevi'im, that's what it stands for, is there to tell you where you're messing up. And moreover, you're down here and we need you here. Why? Because you need to be a light to nations. Why? Because you need to bring Mashiach. Why? Because the world must be redeemed. The Jewish people are here to facilitate the redemption of the world. That's why the notion of Jews for Baal or Jews for Jesus is the worst possible thing you can do. The worst thing you can do is try to convert you to any religion, because the whole role of the Jew is to be loyal to the Torah so he can bring the world. You're destroying the world when you convert a Jew. It's the worst thing you can do. Okay? So the Nevi'im are pregnant. These books of the prophets are pregnant with all the mistakes. The mistake. They're very critical. And it also is filled with messianic prophecy, because Isaiah is saying, but you need to be here, and you're here. Okay, now, what is missing from this? So here's the law, this you must keep. This is how you're messing up. And then now what's the question? Well, how do I get it back? How do I heal? Where is the medication? Where is the antidote to sin? Got it? That's the writings, the Ketuvim. That's what the word Tanakh, Ka and Cha in Hebrew is the same letter. Okay? So the Ketuvim, whose authors frequently are authors in the prophets, but it's a different kind of book. Why? The Ketuvim are there to tell you how to get it right, how to fix it, how to get back. So the antidote to the sin found in the prophets is in the Ketuvim, in the writings. Got it? So if you want to know how to get yourself out of trouble, go to the book of Psalms. The book of Psalms is the answer to the problems presented in the book of Jeremiah and Ezekiel. The book of Proverbs will tell you how to get back, how to be healthy again. You understand? The book of Song of Songs will tell you how to be restored again. You understand? The book of Ecclesiastes, that's how to get back again. Okay, you got it? So that's a very important three parts. It's not anybody being cute. It's Torah, Nevi'im, and Ketuvim. And Ketuvim is the antidote, is the medication for the problems that have been highlighted in Nvim. Why might this be a problem for the church? You figured it out already. The church did not want the Ketuvim, the writings, to be the antidote to the problems of the prophets highlighted in the Nvim. Why? Because they want Jesus to be the answer. They want you to think that Jesus is your ransom for your sins. See Mark chapter 10, verse 45, and Matthew 20:28, and Romans chapter 10, verse 9, and on and on and on. The church wanted the New Testament to be the answer to sin, not the book of Psalms, not the book of Proverbs. So they changed the order. And as I've illustrated to you, the order, the proper order, was the order that was known to the writers of the New Testament, because that was early. The book of Luke was probably written about the year 85. It was written late first century by a highly literate Christian author whose name we don't possess. Okay? So that's why they changed it. That's why the order is different. So the Book of Chronicles is part of the Ketuvim. It's part of the writings. It's how to heal. It's how to get it back. It's not about what you've done wrong. I want to illustrate this for you. So just let's pick Chronicles because you mentioned Chronicles is how the Hebrew Bible ends in a Jewish Bible. So let's look at this. Let's do the forensics on this just for a brief moment. Chronicles is not interested in highlighting every mistake that's been made. As an example, the sin of David and Bathsheba is very much in the Nvim. It's in the book of Samuel. Okay, where is it in the book of Chronicles? You won't find it. It's not there because Chronicles is very concerned how to get it back. The prophetic books are very into showing you how messed up you are and how much damage you are. So, as an example, the prophecy of Cyrus, that Cyrus would emerge at the end, is not found in the book of Kings. Kings is not interested in that. Kings is just ends with just destruction. Samuel Kings is just violence and destruction. This is how you mess up. If you want to get yourself right by God, you first have to know what's wrong with you. Okay? But if you go to the end of Chronicles, there's a very different ending. Why? Because Chronicles was written by Ezra. Ezra lived in the Persian Empire. He lived in the beginning of the Second Temple period. Ezra knows you know all that. You want to know that? Go there. We need to know how to get you back. You understand? So it's a very different kind of book, and people don't read it, so they don't notice all these things. You know, the mistakes that Solomon made it's mentioned, but it's very minor. In Kings, it's huge, but that doesn't matter anymore to the audience of the early Second Temple period. You know about what happened. Let's talk about the Davidic dynasty and its restoration. Go to the Book of Chronicles. This is how to get it back. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Anyways, that was a great question. The church unfortunately changed the order because they don't want you to find the solution to sin in the book of Proverbs. They want you to find the solution to sin in the book of Romans. Got it? They want you that when you finish Malachi, which is how a Christian Bible ends, and people go, well, Malachi was among the last prophets. It's true. He was one of those three last prophets, right? But what he wanted to do is you end with Malachi and then you go to Matthew. Got it? So Matthew is the solution to the problems italicized in Malachi, right? Not Ecclesiastes. A lot of love to you, Brian. Great question. Thank you. If you enjoy these programs, please like and subscribe.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא